The Navi, the prophet Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah, says in God's name, I will remember always the kindness of your youth, the love you had when you were a bride, in that you followed me into a land that was barren and unsown, without even asking, what are we going to eat and what are we going to drink? In return, we have to express our gratitude for the fact that God took very good care of us during the 40 years of marching around in the desert. First of all, he provided food, the manna that fell from heaven. And then he provided water from the stone. And he also provided clouds. From all 6 sides, we were protected by clouds, protected from harsh weather, from uneven terrain, from snakes. So, welcome into our sukkah. It's a tiny little thing here in New York. There isn't much room, but it's warm and it's cute, enjoyable. The sukkah is an enclosure covered with natural growth. If you could see, can you see the top of the? Our sukkah is covered with bamboo. So the sukkah commemorates the protection that God provided, the clouds that protected us from all 6 sides. It's one of the few mitzvahs that are performed by doing ordinary activity. What exactly is the mitzvah? How do you fulfill this commandment? You eat in the sukkah, you drink in the sukkah, you spend time in the sukkah, you study in the sukkah, and in some places they even sleep in the sukkah. In other words, you do the things you naturally do, but for these 7 days or 8 days, you do it in the sukkah. And then it's a mitzvah. So eating becomes a mitzvah, drinking becomes a mitzvah, even casual conversation becomes a mitzvah. Another unique thing about the sukkah is that it engages the entire body. You give charity with your hands. You study Torah with your mouth, your mind. You put on tefillin on your arm. You light candles with your hands. Which mitzvah involves the entire body? Again, it's the sukkah. A third point is, many people can sit in the same sukkah together at the same time, fulfilling the same mitzvah. And the bigger the sukkah, the more people it can accommodate. In fact, if the sukkah were big enough, the entire Jewish nation could be performing a mitzvah together. And it would be the same mitzvah for everyone. The greatest and the smallest, the greatest saints and the most common of people can all fulfill the mitzvah equally. Now, we don't commemorate the food that fell from heaven, the manna, and we don't commemorate the water that came miraculously from a stone. And the simple idea behind it is, those are necessities. I mean, God was going to keep us alive. So he provided food and he provided water. But the protection from the elements to just make it more comfortable to travel, this is beyond the call of duty. This is an expression of love, not of necessity. And so we celebrate this love that God showed us in providing the clouds. And this is in response to God's love that began when we came out of Egypt, in that he will never forget our kindness or our love that we followed him into the desert without asking questions. So it's an amazing romantic gesture. And that's why it is so enjoyable. It is so uplifting. It's so heartwarming. It is called the season of joy. Zman simchasenu, a time for happiness. Right outside here down the street, there will be dancing, music all night long. And the same tomorrow night and the night after. Of course, not on Shabbos. So, starting off the year, after being forgiven on Yom Kippur, after proclaiming God our King on Rosh Hashanah, now we celebrate the relationship with the joy, the love, the warmth, the closeness that all of this brings. So if you can get to a sukkah anytime, tonight, tomorrow, the day after, and fulfill the mitzvah simply by eating something in the sukkah, and remembering that God doesn't just keep us alive, He gives us even things that seem a little unnecessary, beyond essential needs, the joy of life. And that's why we make a blessing, Shehecheyanu. On a special occasion, we make a blessing praising God and thanking God for keeping us alive, keeping us in existence, and bringing us to this occasion. We don't take things for granted. Keeping us alive, keeping us in existence, and bringing us to this occasion. Now, shouldn't keeping us in existence come first? I mean, first you got to exist, then you can have a life, and then you can get to this occasion. But the order is, first He gives us life, then He gives us existence, then He gives us this occasion, this happy occasion. The meaning of it is, existence in itself is not necessarily something we can thank God for, because existence is not always pleasant. Certainly our history has not shown it to be pleasant. Existence is draining, existence is demanding, existence can be painful. But if you fill your existence with life, if you know your purpose, and you pursue the purpose for which we exist, then the existence, as painful as it might be, becomes something wonderful. So, when we thank God, we say first, thank you for giving us life, which in turn gives meaning to our existence. So now we can even be grateful for our existence. And even that is not enough yet. Brought us to this occasion can also mean helped us work our way to this occasion. It didn't happen by itself. The Hebrew word bringing, higiyanu, can also mean tiring, exhausting. So we thank God for the fact that getting here was exhausting, meaning we put a lot of effort into making it to this occasion, so that we're not a passive participant. We're an active participant. So now we have existence, life, and success. God gave us life, which brings meaning to our existence, which brings us a little credit for the effort that we put in to make it to this occasion. So now the Shehecheyanu takes on a whole new meaning. It's not just, thank God you did everything for us. You gave us life, you gave us existence, you brought us here, and we are just along for the ride. No. We pursued the purpose for which we exist. That's our life. God gave us that purpose. Pursuing that purpose made our existence, which is somewhat painful, made the existence meaningful, by filling it with life and purpose. And you didn't leave us silent and inactive. You challenged us. And we put in the effort so that it's not undeserved, which could be disappointing or disheartening. That makes the occasion so much more meaningful. Full of life, that softens the hardships of our existence and gives us a feeling of accomplishment. What's not to love? What's not to enjoy? What's not to celebrate? So find a sukkah. Participate. Sit down in a sukkah, forget all your problems. Just wallow in the embrace. Long ago, God showed us that He's not just going to keep us alive with meager necessities, but He blesses us with a very meaningful life, a very meaningful existence, and very successful efforts at being who we're meant to be. If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic, and you're looking for more information, or you want to hear it again from another angle, there is a way to do that, and that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it.